Hi, in this video I'm just going to explain how our hosting service works and so that you can understand it better and so that you can make the most out of our service. So firstly, I just want to point out that the hosting element of our service is entirely optional. You can use our security maintenance and website support services without moving over to our hosting. So if you prefer to stay with your existing hosting, that's totally fine. However, it doesn't affect the price of our service because it's a lot easier for us to manage your website if it's within our hosting environment. Now, the way our hosting works is that we use cloud hosting, and we're mostly using Amazon cloud hosting because we've found in our testing where we've tested an identical website on a number of different server environments and different hosting providers, we found that Amazon cloud hosting got us the fastest results. It even outcompeted Google's cloud hosting in Google's own speed tests. So we recommend going with that from a performance point of view, but there's a number of other reasons why cloud hosting is better. It's newer technology than a lot of some of the really cheap cPanel hosting has outdated technology which provides a number of issues and performance problems. The other thing is that it's a lot more secure because it's a lot more of a closed system with each website. You're not sharing the software with hundreds of other websites like you might do in some shared hosting situations. The other benefit is that we can quickly scale up the server resources to meet the needs of your website if there happens to be, for example, an attack on the server or on the website, or if there's some kind of bug which is causing the website to overload the server's resources. We can quickly, within a matter of minutes, scale up the resources available to that website to make sure that your website is not having any performance issues. Now, included in our support service is where we host your website on one of our clusters. So we have small servers. We are managing dozens of them in Australia, the US, and in Europe. And each one of those is a small cluster of around 5 to about a dozen websites, all on one server, sharing the server's resources. Now, this makes it cost effective, and so we can include that in the price of our support service. However, if your website requires its own dedicated server instance, then we can set that up for you and manage it for you, but it does come at an additional cost. The clusters are appropriate if your website can be mostly cached, and most of the activity on your website can be cached, which reduces the load on the server and means that you can have a lot of visitors to your website without affecting the performance of your website or the other websites in your cluster. If you are your website cannot be cached, or it's the type of website where it requires a lot of server resources, then you might need to move to a dedicated server so that the activity on your website is not affecting any other websites on the cluster. Now, typical examples of this are large e-commerce websites and membership websites where a lot of the activity that goes on can't be cached and does add additional load onto the server. There are other examples though. Now, if you do need a dedicated server, we can test out what are the resources that you require, and we can place that dedicated server wherever in the world is closest to your target market, and we can scale up and down to meet your needs. So if you have, for example, a promotion going on and you're going to need a lot of additional resources because your website can't be cached for some reason, then we can scale up just for that period of time that you need it and then scale back down. Scaling up does, however, incur additional costs. An important thing to point out about our hosting service is that we do not host emails. We do make sure that emails are sent from your website to your email address and connect your CRM and that sort of thing, but we don't do the email hosting of your primary mail inbox. For that, we recommend using a professional email hosting service such as Google G Suite or Microsoft Office 365. It is really not a good idea to be hosting your emails on the web server because they're just not built for that, and you'll have a lot of connection and spam issues. So if you need help with setting up a Google G Suite account, we can assist with that. However, if you prefer to go with Microsoft Office 365, you'll need to engage a separate IT professional to help you with that setup. And whichever hosting you decide to go with, whether it's with us or with a separate third-party hosting provider, we do recommend that you set up a Cloudflare account, and we can do this for you. It's a free service and it provides a number of benefits. One is that it makes it very easy to change server from one to another if there are problems with the server that you're currently on. It's a very easy and smooth process to switch. There is also the benefits of protection against DDoS attacks, and it filters out a lot of spam bots from hitting your website. The other benefits are that it speeds up your website by putting cached copies of your website in data centers all over the world. And that means that people are served your website's files super fast, and it puts less load on the server. If you have any other questions about our hosting service, please feel free to email support@tunedwp.com, and we'd be more than happy to answer those questions. Cheers.